The second big event happens when the universe is 100 billionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a second old. That's when the strong nuclear force separates out from the electroweak force. As the universe expands, it gets colder and colder. As it gets colder and colder, the one unified force becomes 2, 3, and 4. And so when it becomes 3, this is when you have another symmetry breaking that causes the universe to hyperinflate. It's called the inflation event, where the universe expands at millions of times the velocity of light. Now it happens within a split second. By 10 to the minus 32 seconds, that hyperexpansion's all over. But what that does is allow the universe to be the right size at this time in history so that we can have life and yet have everything in the universe thermally connected. Those are all crucial features for life to exist. And then a little bit before a billionth of a second after the cosmic creation event, we have the electromagnetic force separating from the electroweak force. And that's very close to when we see what we call the great annihilation event. The universe has virtually equal numbers of particles and antiparticles, but because of that symmetry breaking, there's about 100 billion and one particles for every 100 billion antiparticles. And when a particle and antiparticle get close together, they annihilate one another and become pure energy. And so this great annihilation event reduces the mass of the universe down to 100 billionth of what it was before. The just right mass we need for life and the just right energy production we need for life. So even in the first billionth of a second, we see this extraordinarily fine-tuned design of many different features of the universe that makes possible the future existence of life.
You said there are 10 dimensions, and we talked about the fact of you've got mass, you've got energy, you've got space, you've got time. What happened to the other 6?
The other 6 are the same size today that they were when the universe was 10 to the minus 43 seconds old. And the universe at that time is still incredibly compact. These 6 dimensions are curled up around the 3 big dimensions, but the cross-section of the dimensions is 20 orders of magnitude smaller than the diameter of an electron, which is why people haven't really noticed them. Not even physicists have noticed them until about a quarter of a century ago.
Yeah. Now, for those of you that just got snowballed in your mind because of what he said, you're talking to a genius here. And so I'm going to go back and forth between his genius and some common stories that you might actually understand. Okay, but those of you that are geniuses out there understood what he said. Why was that important to you in terms of bringing you to God a little later on? Why did that make sense to you that there had to be a creator?
Well, I've been studying astronomy seriously since I was 7 years of age. And every year as I was growing up, I would study a different subdiscipline of astronomy. At age 16, I focused on cosmology, the science of the origin and history of the universe. And that was a time when there was a lot of competing explanations for the universe. Was it steady state? Was it an oscillating universe? Was it a hesitating universe? Was it a Big Bang universe? But even at that time, the evidence was heavily favoring Big Bang cosmology. And I knew if it was Big Bang, the universe must have a beginning. If there's a beginning, there must be a cosmic beginner. So that's when I began my search to discover this cosmic beginner.